they said, oh, we won't need you till about a week or two before we start shooting in April. Then, of course, the phone went early February saying, oh, they'd love you to start early just to start going through some of the animatics and previs and all that kind of stuff. So I found myself starting quite early, but it was good. And it was a nice way to get to kind of know Andy and then try and convince him that the onset editing thing might be the way to go. And I seem to recall that, I even showed him the trolley and I said, this is it. And he said, yeah, and I said, well, look, let me do a couple of days for you, a week or something. If you really don't like it, I'll go scuttling back to the cutting room. And it only really took kind of 1 day or 2 days when he kind of saw the prospects of it and the capabilities and what it could mean for him and his directing and how it could benefit, that he just sort of said, yeah, no, I think let's go with it. And be careful for what you wish for then, because of course then it was the entire shoot, all the night shoots, day shoots and locations and things. But I think in the end, between Jason and myself, we worked out quite a good process for that assemble period or for the shoot period, I think. It was a laptop-based system, and I guess one of the biggest changes, apart from the fact that physically it was a lot more kind of portable than previous systems, and also in the past we kind of used like a Panavision cart, and then we just kind of put the kit on top, and so I had to kind of disassemble everything whenever we kind of traveled. This time it was a purpose-built stuff, so a purpose-built kit, so the monitors were kind of on armatures and they could be closed down, and there was something where I could take the laptop off and put it in the drawer and hook it up. So you could very quickly rig and de-rig, and especially when you're on a film set and they go, right, we're moving on, you need to be able to move like that, because the crew just goes, whoosh, and there's no, wait, I can't, there's no time for that. So it was really good having the convenience to be able to move around quickly. I suppose the biggest change was not so much the layout, because at the end of the day, it's still, it's Media Composer, but it's the way I receive the information. And normally I would be connected via an Ethernet to the Q-Tape system, and so I'd be hardwired, but it kind of meant where Video Assist was, I kind of had to be. And it was a suggestion actually from Tim Grover that I try the Moxion system, which is ostensibly a kind of like a Russia's monitoring system, whereas as soon as a kind of a take is done, say on quick take, and the operator stops recording, it immediately gets uploaded to a server and can be viewed by anyone, anywhere in the world effectively, who's logged into that system. Usually for kind of execs, say maybe in LA, to watch what's going on in real time in London and things like that. But we realized that actually there was a thing with it which you could actually download the clips and use them as Avid media. And so basically it meant that for the first time, as long as I had a Wi-Fi connection, which would be set up at whatever location we were on stage or outdoors, as long as I had access to that connection, I could be anywhere on set, either near Andy or away from Andy or wherever was convenient, and get the media. So it meant that I had the access in that way. And then it kind of, and then also what they did is that they wired up a kind of a BNC video return to Andy's monitor. So I could then basically play him stuff. So he didn't even need to come over to me. I could just sort of, switch over and tell the Video Assist chap to patch the output to his monitor. So basically he could then watch stuff on the go. And it was great because as well as Moxion was being used by basically every department. So the second unit up in Glasgow, the C camera unit, the pickup unit, everybody was connected to Moxion. And so it actually meant that you could get all the media in from every department all the time, and you could keep an eye on what was going on. With second unit, we actually had another editor up there who was helping out on the shoot in Scotland, and he would send me clips, which I could then send to Andy or integrate it to something that we'd done all previously, and then we'd send it back to our chap in Scotland and say, here, tomorrow when you're dropping in new shots, can you use this sequence? And so actually the back and forth went great. I'd never had that kind of flexibility before. And then basically we then used that other system that we'd done previously, that at the end of every day I would download all the media and the projects and the bins onto a travel drive, which would then go to editorial and then would be uploaded. So Jason, who could probably pick up the story from this point, would get those days' assembles, and then Jason could do his own pass on the material as well.